I don't know if you saw, but while I was on my little vacation, we took a day and went to Eagle Rider in Miami, got a motorcycle and rode down into the Keys. It was awesome. And then even the next day where it was take the motorcycle back to Eagle Rider Day, even just that short little ride was awesome. Now, January, normally you don't think is a big motorcycling month, but actually today is one of the best motorcycle days of the year. Today is the day that Harley Davidson unveils their new models for the year. House of Harley Davidson is the place to go to check them out. I'll definitely be checking them out. I've heard little tidbits or whatever, but they're actually out now. They got a bunch of 2024s in stock, including the latest colors that are available, the latest options, and you can get the inside scoop on the all new 2024 Harley models at House of Harley Davidson right now. Speaking of the colors, they have one called Red Rock. They have one called Shark Skin. They have Billiard Gray, obviously, and of course, you can't go wrong with the timeless Vivid Black as well. Whatever you're looking for, they've got it, and they've got carryover motorcycles as well. You can snag sweet $2,000 trade-in credit on select 2023 carryover touring models. So if you want to upgrade, now's a great time. If you don't have a trade, you can get up to $2,000 in parts and accessories when you check out a 2023 touring bike. So there's no better place to do it than House of Harley Davidson. That is the iconic place to get that new Harley Davidson. Stay tuned for more of the inside scoop on the new 2024 Harley models coming soon to House of Harley Davidson on Layton in Greenfield. Stop in and check out the 2024s. This is a mouthful.
ENT.
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 Ear, nose, throat.
ENT.
Why do you think that's
ENT.
why do you think that's
ENT.
why do you think that's the theme? You literally just called Colleen an ear, nose, throat. An ear, nose, throat, something.
The real fancy name is otolaryngology, but
that's better. Thank you.
We don't fault
I want you to
for not saying that.
I want you to re-sing the song with whatever she just said
Ask
in it.
an otolaryngology.
She nailed that, didn't she?
Yeah,
Pretty much.
Pretty close.
Colleen is here. She's one of Dr. Swerdlin's partners, in the sinus and snoringmd.com stuff. So if you need medical advice, today is the day to text your questions into 815-283-0095. Make studio the first word in your message.
But you can be referred to as an ENT.
That's usually what most people say.
Yeah.
You're an
If
ENT.
people ask you,
You're-
what's your specialty? You say, I'm an ENT.
I'm an
because
ENT. All right.
I'm an
It's just
ENT.
easier than
Say-
having people look at you funny.
Say the other word, though.
Otolaryngology.
Otolaryngology. Otolaryngology. Otolaryngology. Otolaryngology.
And what does that mean, otolaryngology?
So oto,
I'm just showing
OTO,
off
is
now.
it's from Latin. OTO is ear.
Okay.
Laryn is like larynx, like
Yes.
your voice box.
Yeah, throat.
Gology. So actually, technically, in other countries, they say otorhinolaryngology
Oh,
because
geez.
there's the rhino is the nose,
The
like
nose,
rhinoplasty.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we just say ENT because,
It's easier.
we don't want to embarrass
It's like the
anybody.
first week of class, they teach you to say what you are
Mhm.
or whatever. So,
Yeah.
How did you get in it? Why did you decide to do that? Like, where you went to school somewhere, and they're like,
Yeah,
hey,
you go to medical school for 4
like,
years.
who wants to be a proctologist? And you're like, keep your hands down. Who wants to
Then
be-
you pick a specialty. Well, it's cool. You know what? It's fun because I get to take care of all ages.
Okay.
Babies all the way up to
All
adults.
right.
And if you like gadgets and tools and technology and things
Yeah.
like that, we get to do a lot of different things with like scopes and
Yeah.
microscopes and instruments and
That's the thing, even as a
endoscopic
patient,
stuff.
when we
Yeah.
go see Dr. Swerdlin
Mhm.
and he gets the cameras
Yep.
out, or there's the scan where you can see like the
Mhm.
inside of your head.
Yeah.
And that's so you guys like know what's going on before you even have to dig into it. Which
well,
you
we
don't
have
think-
we have a suspicion.
yeah,
yeah.
but you get all these like renderings and
Mhm.
whatever. And I'm like weird. I had foot surgery one time and I asked, like, this is back before there were cameras on your phone.
Mhm.
This is back when I had to take like a digital camera and say, take some pictures of the inside of my foot. And I have them, but it's live video
Yeah.
with you guys.
Yeah.
And I think as a patient, to see it puts you a little more at ease once you see what's actually going on and you
Totally.
explain it to somebody. You're like, oh yeah, that makes complete sense or whatever.
Yeah,
So,
that's what we always aim to do. We want to make sure that you understand everything that's going on, that because then it's pretty clear what you have to do.
what you got to do to fix it. All right. So Colleen is here. Dr. Swerdlin is here. There
He's
he is.
entered the building.
If you've got questions, we've got answers. Ask an ENT is what we'll say, because I can't say otolaryngology. That was pretty close.
Yeah.
She's
You're
like,
getting there.
you're better than my mom and dad do. So if you have questions, text them in 815-283-0095 studio, the keyword.
Dense fog this morning, rain and snow today, high near 40.
Ask an ENT coming up. Science and Snoring, MD.com. Please check out that and more on the way. Here's Rob Zombie on WIIL Rock. Rob Zombie, Super Beast on WIIL Rock. Tom and Leah, WIIL Rock Morning Show. Dr. Swerdlin and Colleen is here. I don't know what to call Dr. Colleen. Dr. Angaragoligi. Doctor, what do people call you?
Dr. Plain.
Dr.
Plain is my
Plain.
last
That's
name.
easier than saying Doctor of the Onocology. I'm nailing
So
that.
we got Dr. Plain and Dr. Swerdlin.
Dr. Plain and Dr. with sprinkles. Dr. Swerdlin and Dr. Plain are here. If you got questions, text them in now to 815-283-0095 studio, the keyword.
Dense fog this morning.
What?
Rain and snow later on today, high near 40, 33 overnight. Rain and 40 for tomorrow. It's 35 in Elgin and 34 in Spring Grove.
95, WIIL Rock 95 second update. A Zion man facing charges stemming from a crash in Wadsworth that took place last winter, leaving multiple people injured, including one critically. Vic Solomon accused of being under the influence of cocaine and alcohol, but he caused the two-vehicle wreck last February at the intersection of 41 and 173 in Wadsworth. 46-year-old now faces multiple counts of aggravated DUI and aggravated reckless driving. He's due in court next week. WIIL Rock Sports brought to you by Pratt's Chimney Service. Chimney leaking, call Pratt's today for a free estimate. The Milwaukee Bucks fire coach Adrian Griffin, they'll take on the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight. Blackhawks in Seattle. Chicago Wolves, another one in Manitoba. They won there last night. The Milwaukee Admirals at home.
And finally, here's the most random crime we've seen this year.
All right.
17-year-old kid in Utah is facing charges for taping dead fish to ATM machines.
Oh, I've done that a few times. Tim is out in the hallway laughing.
yeah.
And I'm taping
Dead
fish to ATM machines.
Yeah, he's been going around to different ATMs and duct taping fish to the screens.
I did this last weekend. It's so fun.
Oh my gosh, yes. I can only imagine how good that smells. Since he's a Gen Z, he's also been uploading footage of it to social media. So proof of the crime.
You call him weird, but you're the one who's going out and apparently sniffing all these dead fish. How do you know how it smells?
Well, I only imagine dead fish, rotting fish smells not good, right?
All right. Better than dirty money.
Good fish smells bad sometimes.
Good fish smells bad sometimes. Okay.
Like when you're cooking fish, sometimes there's an unpleasant smell, right? You say you can't heat it up in the microwave. So if there's dead rotting fish, and yes, I got your dirty money reference.
Okay.
Anyway, he's currently got over 57,000 followers on Instagram.
Obviously, who doesn't want to watch somebody taping dead fish to an ATM?
Well, he goes by the name of Fish Bandit.
Right. Well, who didn't know
and
that?
His tagline is "Live, laugh, tape fish on ATMs."
But I love this guy. So is he certifiable, or was he trying to get attention? Or
I'm sure he was just doing it for the gram.
Is he in trouble?
Yeah,
What is that, like vandalism,
Yeah.
fishdalism? I don't know what that is.
Just says that.
What is he charged with? Assault with a deadly dead fish? What is the charge? I mean, obviously, if you own the ATM, you're like, hey, dude, quit taping dead fish to our property.
Yeah,
but is that like vandalism? Yeah,
vandalism, I guess.
I don't know.
All it says is cops in Utah say that he's taped at least 13 fish to 13 ATMs since last August, and he's posted video around the holiday of 3 fish duct taped to the side of a police cruiser.
Oh, there you go. There's how you get shot. Yeah. Anyway, if we can get a video with him, let's please get a video interview where I want to see this guy and talk to him. See if
ask
he can
him
set
why.
that. Why is the question? Has anybody asked him why? Because if you get all that much internet traction, you can make money off of it.
Oh yeah, there they are, taped to the police cruiser.
Yeah.
3 dead fish.
Is that where he crossed the line?
Too.
Is that where he crossed the
like
line?
Little goldfish.
It's all about size with you. Is that where he crossed the line though? Is that when he finally got busted?
It doesn't say that he's even been busted.
All right, so maybe he's not. Well, you can't tape stuff to a police car. You could get shot. You don't do that.
Well,
we have guests here who are like, "What the hell kind of show have I joined?" So the big question is, will you pay attention? Join me now. I'm researching. Look at
fish were harmed in the process. That's what I wanted to find out.
No, the number one question is if you show up, let's ask these guys, if you show up to an ATM and you really need money and there's a fish taped to it. Now you can work around it. You just have to lift the fish up and type your stuff in and then set the fish back down and the money comes out and you get your card. It works fine.
Yeah.
But you have to lift a fish with, say, 2 fingers and type your stuff. Do you still, you really need the money. Do you still use the ATM? Or if you walk up and there's a fish tape there, do you just turn around and walk away? Yes or no? Do you use the ATM? I think I'd use the ATM.
I don't know. Something's fishy.
I would have to really need the money.
You had no other option. You needed the cash.
If it's sushi grade,
it's good fish. If it's sushi grade, he's back to like by you. If it doesn't stink, if it's not awfully,
and I'm hungry,
Yeah, there you go. He just rips it down. Dr. Swerdlin's making some type of sushi and wasabi on top of it. It is 8:34. Ask an ENT doctor. You got questions? Text them in now. 815-283-0095. Studio. The keyword: no fish were harmed in the production of this program. Hey, if you're going to a job that you don't like, how about getting yourself a career that you love? I'm talking about the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 150, keeping the power on in Lake County, and that can be you. It is never too late to join IBEW. Local 150, a highly in-demand career. It's hard work, but gratifying, and you can get there without having a huge debt, a loan debt, a student loan debt. I'm talking about earning while you learn. With their 5-year apprenticeship, while you accumulate no debt, you might even end up with an associate's degree, also fully reimbursed by the training center. There's plenty of room for advancement with the industry leader in the installation of new green energy electrical systems. You're going to have work in a fulfilling career. Great wages, great benefits, retirement plan, all of that waiting for you. Local 150 keeps the power on in Lake County, and that can be you. Find out more at ibew150.org. All right, it's Ask an ENT Doc today. Dr. Plain and Dr. Swerdlin here from sinusandSnoringMD.com. The ER theme going. Let me ask you this, Dr. Plain, did you have a medical show, a TV show that you watched and you're like, oh, I want to be a doctor?
My age is going to show. Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy? Yeah.
Do you still watch it?
Not as much as I would like to.
Oh my gosh.
It's
still on.
But you have a backlog. So when you want to binge, you won't run out for a while. So it was Grey's Anatomy. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
And was that really something that put you into the medical?
No, I knew I wanted to, do that before, but I think it was the first show that really gave you any sort of glimpse into like what medical training
Yeah.
is like. And
Yeah.
I think
When
it
they
started when I
start
was in
sleeping with
college.
the doctors.
Yeah, that's exactly. That was why I went into medicine. That was the number one-
When is Patrick Dempsey coming? You know, Patrick
Exactly.
Dempsey was sexiest man alive this year.
Yeah.
We're the
He's
same
still got
exact
it.
age, him and I, and it's
you're
pretty
alive.
close, and I'm alive.
And you're a
I'm
man.
man and I'm alive. All right, the sexy 2
Nailed
out
it.
of 3 ain't bad. Is there a medical show that you feel is closest to like real, like
Scrubs.
Scrubs,
really? Yeah,
That was a great show too.
yeah. So it's crazy in the medical field a little bit.
Just
it's wacky
the
stuff.
ridiculous things
There's
that
a
happen in the
character.
hospital. And
All right.
yeah.
All right. Dr. Swerdlin, was there a TV show or a movie that made you want to be a doctor, or did you see something like that or not?
You know, Dr. Plain was talking about showing her age. Mine was ER, but from the like 80s. Or
ER.
90s.
Oh, yeah. I love ER. Was it? Well,
Yeah,
that's the
wasn't that a
music I
great-
just played.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
liked ER.
Yeah. What show have you found to be the closest to how it actually is in the medical field?
Saturday Night Live.
Saturday Night Live. So it's wacky. It's, yeah. All right. The Bassomatic. Anyway, if you have a question, we have doctors here today, and there's already a bunch. So I will get to as many of them as we can. And you guys got doctoring to do. I know we don't have it for a long time. So we'll get to those text messages coming up. 815-283-0095. Studio, the keyword. It is 841.
Dense fog this morning.
What?
Rain and snow later on today. High near 40.
All right. And then I got to play my fiance. It's not snoring. I don't know what it is. And I'm going to play
yeah,
that.
you got the audio of that.
It's the Predator is what it is. I'm
That's
about
exactly what it sounds
It is
like.
the Predator. We'll find out what that is and if that's a problem coming up for Ask an ENT. I think they know what it is because they're laughing. So they must get a lot of predators in there. We'll tell you what that could be and about your issues coming up on WIIL Rock. See, I like Doogie Howser. That's why I keep playing the music. You guys remember Doogie Howser? You remember that, right?
Yeah.
Was that a doctor show?
Yeah, it was Neil Patrick Harris, but he was like a high school kid that had graduated medical school.
Okay.
And that's not the reason I liked it. You know why I liked it is he had a girlfriend. Her name was Wanda, and it was
Was all about Wanda.
It was all about Wanda. We're like,
Mhm.
man, Doogie really outkicked his coverage.
With Wanda.
He had a creepy friend Vinny who snuck into his house through the window. There's a lot going on. Did you guys watch that one?
Yeah.
Right? You
It was
can't
a little before my time.
You can't get through medical school in high school or whatever. It's not. Did you have any prodigies when you were there? Or?
We did. I have a friend who, it's funny, you know, he finished medical school, he finished all his training, but he said that he never finished college. So when his son graduated college, he was crying, and he said that that's the first kid in his generation.
Oh, did it? Yeah.
But that's because he skipped college. He was so smart.
Yeah, he just went, I don't need this. Wow. What's he do now?
He does the same thing that we do, but he's in Texas.
You seem very young right now. So did you go through quickly or whatever?
I didn't take any gaps, so I went straight, college, medical school, residency. So
what a nightmare that decade must have been, right?
It's pretty fun.
They
Yeah.
to talk about like Reddit, you don't sleep and all of that stuff.
That's very true. Yeah, my life didn't quote unquote didn't begin until I think 29.
Yeah.
Wow.
You missed some really formative years for Leah and I, but she doesn't remember most
I was
of
going
them.
to say, how much does she remember?
Right. That was
Hey,
the 20s.
I had
the
all
20s.
of my children by then.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cranking them out. So speaking of parties, that's always my question with, when Dr. Swerdlin comes in, and it's got to be the same thing for you, Dr. Plain, is when you go to a party and people find out you're a doctor, they start showing you body parts, right?
Kind of.
And asking you questions. Everybody wants free medical advice.
Yep.
But how do you do you, I said you tell people you're not. You tell people you work, at Target or whatever.
Well, I usually will just say to people like, what do you do? And I'll be like, I'm a physician. And they'll be like, okay. And I just kind of pray the questions in there.
Yeah.
But they usually
don't.
Yeah.
They don't. Is there a number
or I say otolaryngology, and then
they're like, oh, I don't have that. I don't have one. That sounds bad. We got a ton of questions already on the text line. We'll go to them coming up in a little bit. And I have some audio I have to play for you to find out what it is. I don't want it corrected, so I hope it's nothing bad. You right? It's just so damn cute.
Because is snoring always bad?
Right. That's is there an acceptable, that was going to be my question. Is there an acceptable amount of snoring, like a little bit, or is it, you should always get rid of it?
It depends on how much it bothers you, but there's always it's a sign that air is being interrupted.
So it's always a bad thing.
What about if you're really drunk?
Why do we snort? Because you're more relaxed.
Then we can't help you.
Okay.
Yeah. You go in and they say, stop drinking.
Stop drinking. Yeah. That's a different
I do though, but I
person.
snore way worse when I'm drunk. That's normal, right? Everybody does that.
That's the
right?
only time I snore.
That is the only time Leah snores because she's a delicate flower.
Yeah.
And then there's a reason, right?
Yeah, relaxes your muscles.
Yeah.
Right?
Damn right it does.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
it also relaxes your brain.
Yeah. I hadn't noticed that, but I'm not usually there. So we'll tell you about that coming up. You got questions, text them in. It's Ask an ENT Doc. There's Fozzie. This is Spotlight on WIIL Rock. Pop people at WIIL ROCK. Before that, Fozzie, Chris Jericho is, if you follow him on the social medias, he is doing practice. What do they call it?
He's doing practice.
For Fozzie shows, they're doing is he does that annual cruise and all of that.
Oh,
So
I didn't know that.
He went on, and I thought, how you've been doing Fozzie shows, how much practice? But I guess you got to get the set down and stuff like that and whatever. So rehearsal is, I guess, what the talented people call it. Like what we would do for this show if it was more of a show. Yeah.
We did a dress rehearsal where we'd come in our clothes that we wear for the radio.
Wait,
are there particular clothes or
No, I'm not even wearing shoes right now. And we have guests.
Just one guest.
Dr. Plain, you all right? Right next door. It's not sanitary.
Ask me later.
What if you were What if you were barefoot
I'm not
at
barefoot.
work?
I have socks on.
Okay. But what if so Dr. Plain walks in the room, it's time for an exam in your ear, nose, and throat, and she's not wearing shoes. You would be like, right?
No.
Leah's answering for her now. Yes.
It's okay to not wear shoes at work.
I'm putting my shoes on.
I'm asking the medical professional.
Generally, the rule at the hospital is closed toe.
Closed toed. There you go.
But they can wear those clog things that have the holes in them.
Crocs?
So the shoes may as well.
Clog things. Crocs?
Yeah.
Do you wear Crocs? I see a lot of medical people wearing Crocs.
I wear Danskos.
Is it this like the
They're
different
clogs,
version? Yeah.
but they're like a little hardier and
Than Crocs?
Look at
Dr.
the doctor
Swerdlin,
and I are
what
wearing similar shoes.
what is your footwear?
I wear just tennis shoes,
Tennis
like
shoes.
jogging shoes.
But there are shoes.
they are shoes.
You are wearing shoes.
We have
People
this
do-
policy that no shirts, no shoes, no surgery.
Okay, there no shoes, no shirt, no surgery. And that is we
That
have
was
the
good.
opposite policy here. No shoes, fine. It's let's make fart jokes. So I guess if you have questions for the medical professionals who wear shoes at work, go figure. Text them in now to 815-283-0095 studio, the keyword.
If I was going to do surgery on someone, I'd put on my shoes.
If you were going to do surgery on someone, they're effed. It is over for them. I believe that I could remove an appendix.
You think so?
They would die afterwards from the complications, but I
Right.
think I could get the useless
Out.
organ out of their body. So,
Well, look at you.
but I'm not doing anything ear, nose, and throat. So, if you have questions, Leah will not be answering them coming up.
Dense fog this morning,
What?
rain and snow today, high near 40, 33 overnight, rainy and 40 for tomorrow. It's 34 in Highwood and 34 in Crystal Lake.
95 WIIL ROCK 95-second update. An update from Pleasant Prairie Police about that shooting that took place yesterday afternoon. The incident called in from the 10,000 block of 77th Street just after 4 o'clock yesterday. Officers arrived to find a 46-year-old male with a gunshot wound, transferred him to Frederick Hospital. Unfortunately, that person did die. Anton Lamar Space is the identity. A search of the area turned up no suspect. Officials say they're still looking for leads and a motive for the situation. WIIL ROCK Sports brought to you by Windy City Rooter. They drain your pipes, not your wallet. The Milwaukee Bucks dismiss head coach Adrian Griffin. Joe Prunty will step in and the interim, and the Bucks will take on Cleveland tonight. Blackhawks in Seattle. The Chicago Wolves remain in Manitoba for a second straight game. They won yesterday. Milwaukee Admirals play tonight at home.
And finally, we're about a week away from Groundhog Day. And PETA, PETA?
The people for the ethical treatment of animals.
Yeah, they're already raising a stink
It's a
about
terrorist organization.
us using real groundhogs to pretend to predict the weather.
Can I tell you, groundhog is delicious.
Is it? No.
One year we served it, and we took it out to a 501 club party, and we served it at the 501 club party, and
You did
people said it
not.
was delicious. Yeah.
You fed it to them without telling them it
No,
was
we told them it was
groundhog?
groundhog, and people
Oh.
came out and tried it, and everybody thought
Where
it
do
was
you
delicious.
get groundhog from?
I don't know. It was pork tenderloin. But anyway, people came out and had no
Had
problem eating it when they
eating
thought
it,
it was
okay.
groundhog. And it was delicious.
Well, yeah, 'cause
Tastes
it's
like pork tenderloin. Yeah, yeah.
They are, again, because I guess this isn't the first time, calling for Puxatawny Phil to be
Hard
retired.
to say Punxsutawney Phil.
Puxatawny Phil.
Punxsutawney Phil.
I said it, Puxatawny.
Punxsutawney Phil.
Puxatawny.
Punxsutawney Phil.
Puxatawny Phil.
Oh, you like? I like it a groundhog. It tastes like a pork.
They're calling for Phil to be retired.
Well, they terrify the thing. You guys know the video, right? The guy in the top hat, right?
They
On
pull out the
Groundhog Day,
groundhog
they pull it out and they hold it like
to a group of screaming
they
drunk
scream,
idiots.
Right?
Yeah,
They hold it
yeah,
up
yeah.
in the air and they're like, ah! If you're the groundhog, this is terrifying.
It's been hibernating, right?
Right.
And they pull it out
wake
from
it
its
from
cave.
a 6-month dead sleep and wave it around in front of drunk Pennsylvanians. Right?
They're offering to replace him with a giant gold coin, which would be flipped with one side calling for winter, 6 more weeks of it, and then the other for an early spring.
I'm okay with terrifying the groundhog one day out of the year, right?
Both are stupid.
It leads a wonderful life. It doesn't have to go out in the wild. There are no predators. It is fed all the meals and it gets a nice place to sleep. And one day a year, a bunch of drunk idiots pull you out.
But listen, Puxatawny.
I take that life. If you said, Tom, 364 days out of the year, you can sleep, you can eat, we'll provide female companionship, other lady groundhog.
You just lay around and be a fat ass.
You get to lay around and be a fat ass.
That's what
and
it
one
is.
day of the year, Tom, we're going to pull you out of your slumber and we're going to wave you around in front of drunk people. I'd be like, sign me up. That's practically what we do now. If you've been to a 501 club party, generally you pick me up from my only nap of the week, which is Friday. That's the only day I nap. You pick me up. We go to the 501 club party and you wave me around in front of drunk people.
Yeah.
Have you been to a 501 club party?
Exactly what
It's
you do.
literally, and every Friday it's the same thing. I'm living Groundhog Day.
Puxatawny Tom.
Punxsutawney Tom. Come on out and Leah will wave you around in front of me this Friday. Where are we at? The Thirsty Whores. And see it for yourself. And I will tell you if we're going to get an early spring or not. That's this Friday at Thirsty Whores with Miller Lite, 95 WIIL Rock. General Hospital theme here. 95 WIIL Rock. Tom and Leah, WIIL Rock Morning Show. Ask a ear, nose, throat doctor today with Dr. Swerdlin and Dr. Plain. They are here. Dr. Swerdlin has to step out. He actually, do you do that too? He gives his patients the first time he gave me his text number, I thought he was.
His text number.
Yeah, his phone number. But to text him.
I don't know.
I guess I could call him too. But the thing is if you go in and you with the texting, have you seen the texting now? It's crazy. You can send words to people. Have you done this? QWERTY? Anyway, the QWERTY keyboard. But I thought he was BSing. Here's my cell number in case there's any problems with the thing or whatever. And so I immediately pulled out my phone and did it, and it went on his phone. I'm like, okay.
I do that too.
Do you do for your patients?
Yep.
Yeah. I guess because it's scary if like you get something done in your face. If it's the first time, you're nervous about it, right?
Yeah, and also if you have a question, you have a problem, you don't have to go through 80 million layers of a phone tree. You just
you
right
call
to
somebody
to.
at a desk who has no idea who you are or what.
Exactly.
Okay, I'll let the doctor know.
Exactly.
And then yeah.
Yep.
But so it's a thing. So and I like that. It's very personal service, and because it's a scary thing. Speaking of personal service, so my fiance, she snores, but there's this thing. I'm gonna add. Have you guys seen the movie Predator? This is the Predator.
You're gonna play the Predator
this
first.
is okay. Well, for those that don't, everybody knows
comparison.
Yeah, it's Predator sound. There we go. So this is the Predator sound. This is how the Predator sounds in the movie. You know that sound, right?
It's coming for you.
That is the Predator from the movie. This is my fiance. I sleep next to this at night, and I recorded it once. So that's my fiance. This is the Predator. Predator.
Very spot on.
Fiance.
Yeah.
Predator. Fiance. So my question is to you: is in the middle of the night, am I going to be slaughtered? You've seen Predator when those three red dots show up. That's the Predator's
That's
weapon.
what's coming for you.
Yeah, there's an alien growing inside of her.
Right,
for sure.
Have you? No, Alien is different. Predator versus Alien.
Oh,
I don't remember who won in Predator versus Alien. I hope it was the Predator because I sleep next to one. If the Alien never shows up, Is that a common noise in people's faces? Have you heard that before?
It can be.
Yeah.
Yeah, different noises come from different places. Basically.
Oh, no way.
something is vibrating that shouldn't be vibrating.
Yeah. And then she has this little tiny snore like afterwards, but I'm not worried about it. Is that something that has to be? I don't want that corrected because I think it's so cute. To Leah's question, is there snoring that is acceptable? Is that acceptable? Or maybe that's worse than regular snoring. I don't know.
I guess it would be based on symptoms, right? So if you feel like your sleep quality is good, you feel well rested, you're not feeling congested, you're not having acid reflux, you're not having headaches.
She has all the things, but she's got other medical stuff going on.
So, I mean, I guess you could call it quote unquote normal or okay.
Right.
But it's a sign that something's happening.
But you say if you feel well rested. I want to meet this a-hole.
Yeah, who the hell's well rested?
I am well rested. I get an ample amount of sleep and I'm never tired. I get up out of my bed in the morning and there's a spring in my step. I would choke that person to death.
I guess the question is that I always ask people is, if you had like a good 6 or 8 hours to sleep
do you feel
uninterrupted,
good?
Do you wake up and you're like, oh, I
feel good.
I feel better.
Feel good.
All right.
Because lots of people, the answer is no.
Yeah, everybody, the answer. But I mean, there are people who, get enough sleep and all that. I always qualify it by how long after you wake up does it take before you don't hate everyone? Because when I wake up in the morning, until I get out of the shower, if you came and said, hey, Tom, what's going on? You just get a bunch of expletives.
That's actually normal.
To hate everyone? Okay, all right.
And to take 30 minutes to kind of
really
get going.
That's actually normal.
Okay, all right, we're good.
Then we're good.
Leah hates everybody until about 10:30 every day.
And then I get to dip.
And she goes home. Yeah. Well,
and then I go home and I go to bed.
And she makes the Predator sound. So should I get the Predator sound checked out though, or not?
I would say so. It's a very easy thing to do. To take a look, we just look at the nose, we look at the throat. If we're concerned that, if we're concerned that she's stopping breathing, or we're concerned that she's tired during the day, we can do a very easy home sleep test, to check the oxygenation, to make sure that she doesn't stop breathing.
All right. And that's the home sleep test is something you guys send with somebody. We talked about this before. And it's the gadget they put on at night. They go to sleep. It monitors how they do. They have to do it multiple nights, or just one night good? Or
we do it a few nights to make sure that we get a
good
right
sample.
Representation. Yeah, good sample. But it's very easy. It's non-intrusive. You don't have to go to a facility. It's not very expensive, but it gives you tremendous information.
Yeah.
So check that out maybe, and then go in and see you guys, and that's where you do the scoping of and that'll just is worth going just for how interesting it is.
I'm just curious, like when my husband is snoring and I hit him and tell him to like roll over, why do people snore on their back but not on their side?
Is there because
absolutely, yeah. So the biggest thing is a lot of people breathe through their mouth instead of their nose.
Yeah.
So your mouth opens, your tongue is a big giant muscle.
Thank you.
So as you go to sleep and that relaxes, it now falls back to the back of your throat.
And so it's cutting off your airway
100%
and flapping in
if
the
you're
breeze.
On your side or on your stomach, gravity grabs it forward or down. When you're on your back.
And that's one of the treatments of sleep apnea when the tongue is involved. If we are able to correct the nose, if you're able to breathe well through your nose, it's an oral appliance, which is like a little Invisalign type of plastic device that you put in your mouth at night, and that prevents the tongue from falling back, and it's very effective.
Yeah,
but for that, your nose needs to be perfectly open.
Maybe find that for half.
But even for myself, like I had not with you guys, but years and years ago, I had I had a sinoplasty done, right? So I can breathe through my nose now. But I still find myself opening up my mouth and breathing through my mouth.
Well, there can still be some obstruction in your nose. So there's different parts of your nose. When that's called the nasal valve. If you see people who use breathe right strips, if that helps, because a lot of nasal surgeries don't address that. And a lot of people habitually breathe through their mouth and have to kind of there are ways to retrain breathing.
I
know a lot of people who can breathe through their nose and just breathe through their mouth because they know how smart it makes them look.
Yeah,
absolutely. You might have nasal allergies too. You might have a perfectly nice nose, but if you have allergies, that will cause swelling in the nose. And we're able to test you for that in a very with no needle, just a little plastic.
The little scratch test. We did that.
That's a nice try.
We did that.
Dr. Playing a Dr. Swerdlin. That's a nice try, but the actual answer is she's an alien from space who's going to kill me. That's what's going to happen. Have you met her? I mean,
she brought me breakfast. She's a lovely lady.
Well, that's what they do. They fatten you up. Anyway, if you have questions, we're going to go to the text line. Ask an ENT doc coming up. Here's Scott Stapp on WIIL Rock. Scott Stapp found his way, and he's doing shows in Creed and all that stuff. So that's very exciting. There's Higher Power on WIIL Rock. Tom and Leah, WIIL Rock Morning Show. Speaking of higher powers, doctors are here. Dr. Plain and Dr. Swerdlin. These are people you got questions for. We got free
doctors in the house.
Ear, nose, throat advice. Yeah, we're a classy show today. It's not just the usual stupidity.
We're not doing a lot of poo-poo.
Well, I mean, that's not their specialty. We can get that kind of doctor on.
Boogie.
Yeah, we're doing boogie. All right. Ear, nose, and throat doctor. So I have a perforated septum, but and the perforation grows. But I don't have to get that fixed, right? That's not gonna. One day my nose isn't gonna just be mush.
She's like, you could see it on her face.
But
she's like, no, you probably should get it fixed.
But it's extreme to get it fixed. You have to like graft like.
It's a big surgery to get it fixed with a long recovery. It depends on how much it interferes with your daily life.
You?
I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
like when one nostril is shut down, the other one takes over. There's a hallway in the middle.
Yeah.
But I worry that it's like one day my nose will just be mush or not. Is that a thing, or is it
like it's going to collapse?
Yeah, it should be.
It would depend if it truly was getting bigger. I guess if it really is.
You could drive a truck through that puppy.
Time, it's theoretically possible, but unlikely.
I've had the pleasure of examining your nose a few times.
It's a nightmare, but thank you for saying pleasure.
And it hasn't grown. And
it's the same, yeah.
It's the same. And you have enough cartilage on the upper part, which is what will cause the collapse. So I think you'll
Congratulations, Tom. You stopped aggressively picking your nose.
No, that's the problem. Is if you look it up, Dr. Plain will back me up on this, Dr. Swerdlin will back me up on this. If you look it up, there's two possible reasons for a perforated septum. One is cocaine use, and the other is aggressive nose picking. And I've never tried cocaine.
Yeah, there it is.
So,
but I'm just proud that you slowed down on the nose picking.
I haven't.
It's not getting bigger. Oh,
but they say it's not getting bigger, so it isn't. And that's a look inside Tom's nose on the WIIL Rock Morning Show. You've got questions. We've got doctors this morning. We will go to the text line next. 815-283-0095. Studio, the keyword.
Dense fog this morning. Rain and snow today. High near 40. 33 overnight, rainy and 40 for tomorrow. It's 36 in Zion and 36 in Palatine.
WIIL Rock Morning Show. Thanks to the Ray and Ramit Auto Group in Fox Lake and Antioch. Exciting things happening at the 501 Club party this Friday. Who do we say is going to be there? Earlier we were talking about Punxsutawney Tom.
Oh, Punxsutawney Tom.
You can't even say Tom anymore. Punxsutawney Tom. Are you okay? Are you getting enough oxygen?
Punxsutawney Tom twerking pong. Yeah. Twerk pong, Punxsutawney Tom.
We're not doing twerk pong again.
Oh my gosh, I want you to do twerk pong.
After last week at the 501.
It was the highlights. The people loved it. You got to give the people what they want, Tom.
All right, come on out and twerk pong with Punxsutawney Tom. That's
there you go.
250 Miller Lite bottles on special. We've got concert tickets for you to win this Friday, 501. Thirsty Horse, corner of 45 and North Ave. It's right over the border on 45, right on the WI side. We'll see you there Friday with Miller Lite and WIIL Rock. Dr. Plain and Dr. Swerdlin are here for Ask an ENT Doc today. This is what I used to be able to do with my perforation in my nose, was whistle. And one day we had a contest where I whistled songs and people with my nose.
You could whistle with your nose.
Yeah, but the perforation got bigger, so now
mouth.
I can't whistle anymore. The whistle is gone. So that's a thing. But off the air, Leah was talking about allergies and the allergy treatment. And we're coming up on the season where it a lot of people think summer or whatever, but it's spring with the mold and all that stuff. And the way the weather's warmer now, it comes out of nowhere. And I'm in my 50s. I turned 58 yesterday. I don't know if you know.
Yeah, I called in, text, and
I was
posted
sleeping.
and nothing.
It's called vacation.
Cool. I'll never wish you happy birthday again.
Thank you. I don't like birthdays now because all sorts of my body is getting sore and broken and things. And one of the things is I actually developed seasonal allergies.
Well, your allergies
a little bit, not bad in my 50s. Is it going to get worse? And allergy season is coming up. Now is the time to start treatment.
Yeah.
Because it's coming, right?
Is
the world getting worse or is it? I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah.
So actually, as temperatures get warmer, there are more allergies.
More allergies.
So that's not a figment of your imagination.
And there's late onset allergies. All my life I'm fine, and now I'm starting
they change, right?
Also, sometimes things you think are allergies are not actually allergies.
Oh, really?
So you can get those symptoms, what we call rhinitis symptoms, even without allergies.
Okay.
And we have treatments for that too.
Yeah.
So
it hasn't been it's been a little thing and then a little worse and
you should go get tested.
Stuff changes.
I did it. You held my hand while I did it, not literally, but you were there with me.
And
it was simple.
nothing.
It was
nothing.
nothing.
When I got an allergy test when I was a kid, they made a giant grate on my back, and it was a nightmare. Yeah. And then I went and I saw Leah, and you have this little plastic thing. You just prick people on their arm.
Yeah, no needles.
And it was nothing.
It was a scratch, not even a prick.
No,
it takes 15 minutes.
Yeah. And they figured out what Leah was, and then you take these drops and it desensitizes you. But now is the time to go in because allergy season is on the horizon.
Exactly.
And you got to treat it for a while with the drops before it begins to work, right?
That's if you want to get away, your allergies to go away.
Yeah.
There's symptomatic treatments with medications, but they don't change the underlying process.
And then you have to take a medication I would rather
But
do
we
the
have
drops.
ways to get the drops actually can decrease your need
it's
for
like
medications
fixing
over
it
time.
instead of hiding it.
Exactly.
It's a replacement or to allergy shots in a way, because it's the same ingredients, except you can do them at home and you don't get the painful injection.
Yeah. Leah's
and they're extremely effective.
Somebody on the text line is asking a food allergy question. Now, you guys don't do food allergies.
No.
That's a whole different thing, right? Yeah. But ear, nose, and throat, any of those things, allergies, any of that stuff.
Yeah, allergies that cause sneezing, difficulty breathing through the nose. They can even cause ear problems when you go on an airplane. So we treat that. We can evaluate you for that. But the food allergies are too complex because there's multiple factors that can cause it. And
all right.
So it's a
whole different discipline.
It's a whole subspecialty.
What is the number one thing? And you're like, is it snoring? Is it sleep apnea? What is the number one thing people should, or they do come to you for? Is it snoring? Snoring seems like it's the most annoying of the batch.
Snoring and nasal congestion. Those are the two.
Somebody on the snoring front says, I keep waking up every 2 hours, near spot on. How likely is that a breathing problem? It started 4 days ago. But isn't that that's like a sleep cycle?
Yeah.
Well, but
are there people
so that's how sleep apnea works, right? Because as you get into your deepest stages of sleep, your body relaxes more and more.
And that's when it happens.
And that's when you wake up. But then you don't go through those sleep stages.
So you don't get your restful sleep.
Adequate rest.
Sleep.
Yeah, you get the gray zone sleep and but you don't get because you wake yourself up.
We very often see that where some people will say, "Oh, I don't even snore," but 2.5 hours into sleep, I wake up.
I thought isn't it normal to wake up during the night? Are there people who sleep all the way through?
Yes.
Who sleep all the way? Do you sleep all the way through the night?
It depends. Sometimes I have to go potty.
Okay.
That can be sleep apnea. A lot of times it is sleep apnea.
Really?
It wakes you and then your bladder's like, hey, while you're up.
Well, there's a couple things that happen. Number one is that being deprived of oxygen actually causes your body to send signals that thinks it has too much fluid. So you actually make more urine. So it does actually make you have to pee. But I have so many people who, when we treat their sleep apnea, they're like, I don't get up during the night. And so many men just say, oh, it's my prostate. Oh, it's my prostate.
Yeah.
Nope.
See, I'll be dreaming that I'm going to the bathroom, and that's when I know I need to wake up and
You wet
actually
the
use the
bed.
bathroom.
Yeah.
No, I wake up before I wet the bed now.
Congratulations, I guess. Okay.
I'm a big girl.
We're on the radio still, just FYI. I don't. When my coworker told me they were a bedwetter. If you have questions, text them in, I guess, for Dr. Swerdlin and Dr. Plain. Text them to 815-283-0095 studio. The keyword got some more questions to get to coming up after the bedwetter does her happy hour.
Dense fog this morning.
What?
Rain and snow today. High near 40, 33 overnight. Rainy and 40 for tomorrow. I'd have to ask my mom. I don't think that I was a bedwetter. It was a joke.
But now you are. But I mean, it's interesting, Dr. Plain, because everything is tied together. The ear, nose, throat bone is connected to the knee bone, is connected to the bladder bone, apparently, or whatever.
Who knew?
It's all, but you are messing with your life and you don't even know it.
Right.
Yeah.
It is time for the 95 WIIL ROCK Happy Hour News. We're talking about going to bed and sleeping, so this seems very fitting. What's the last thing you do before bed? And I'm not talking about while you're in bed, before you get into bed. What's the last thing you do?
I go through the inventory with Yola because I usually have to make 3 trips downstairs, and I like to try and limit it to 1 or 2 if possible.
Ah, okay.
Is there anything else I can get you? What do you need? And then I get in bed.
Wow, that's very sweet.
And then about 3 to 5 minutes later,
she wants water.
I forgot my pump downstairs, or I need water.
There
Well,
it
I
is.
got a little tiny fridge, and if you listen to her as the predator, that is the humming noise in the background. I got a little tiny fridge that keeps water cold for her.
And that's
that hum in the background.
The noise in the background.
So I don't have to go for water as much anymore, but sometimes snacks, occasionally. Did you want a real answer? Or
yeah,
this
is a good answer.
I go through the inventory and see what is, because I love her and it's a lot of steps.
Well, I guess brushing your teeth is not on
That
the
is
list.
the last thing I do for me.
Okay.
Is I brush my teeth, take my pills, and then off to bed.
So if you're having trouble falling asleep, you might want to change that. Don't skip it altogether, obviously, because then you'll be that gross person who doesn't brush their teeth at night. But brushing a little earlier might be a good idea. If it always takes you a long time to fall asleep, your pre-bedtime routines might have something to do with it, and that includes brushing. Any sort of activity right before bed can jolt you awake a little bit and tell your body it's not time to sleep yet.
So is 3 trips up and down the stairs in track meet speed? Is that a...
Yeah, that's a jolt. Yeah.
I'm not going to worry about the teeth brushing.
Well, this includes brushing your teeth, washing your face, or even turning on a bright light in your bathroom. So try doing it 30 to an hour before bedtime. You want to know what the problem is here for me? Because I like
You'll
to
eat something.
Yes, I want to eat. It's like I was eating these little nerd clusters last night.
Of course you were.
And I wasn't
Bedtime
brushing
snack.
my teeth until I was
Well, then there's
done.
sugar in the nerd clusters, and then you got.
So it was like literally, my eyes are closed and I'm brushing my teeth, and then I crawled back into bed, and I did. I had a hard time falling asleep. I was flip flopping around because
mine is because I have to listen to Snooki and whatever she's doing, and or the housewives.
Did you just refer to? Oh, I thought you were referring to Yola as Snooki.
Oh,
Sorry,
no, I did not refer to my fiance Snooki.
She got a big poof.
Yeah, one of the signs of the downfall of humanity. And I'm she watches those shows.
Okay.
And as I fall to sleep,
you're listening to those
hearing
things.
the downfall of humanity, and I have nightmares. So there's that. We don't have time for that, do we? No. If you have ear, nose, and throat questions, though, text them in now to 815-283-0095 studio, the keyword, and we'll answer those next on WIIL ROCK. And that's why I watch The Bachelor. Notice how I can rationalize it into that it's higher thinking. Anyway, Dr. Swerdlin is here. Dr. Plain is here from Sinus and Snoring MD.com. You got questions. We got doctors today. Somebody said this is weird, okay? I bet you get a lot of people coming in that think their thing is weird, but it's actually, nope, we've seen that a million times, right?
Yes.
Yeah. This one is not a joke. Why, when I think of the sexual position my wife and I are going to do, I sneeze only when we're in bed. Do you have people come in and it's psychosomatic ever? Have you ever seen anything like that? Or I get in Leah's Jeep and I sneeze 400 times.
There is a condition where it's called honeymoon rhinitis. Okay,
No.
This is a real thing. No, it's a real thing.
Hold on, honey, I'm
It's
writing
called
it.
honeymoon rhinitis. Okay, so you have to understand that the inside of your nose is erectile tissue,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
And so,
My nose gets happy.
So if
Yeah.
you sneeze for more than 4 hours, call your physician.
well, something like that.
So
But
can you really?
it's also a very common side effect of ED medications.
Is the
So I
sneezing.
have seen, or the nasal congestion. So people will come in and they'll say, I'm congested. How long has it been? Oh, a couple months.
How
And
much
you look at their
Viagra are you taking?
And a lot of people now will take the things daily instead of as needed. And
Huh.
I've had very many patients where I'm like, okay, try stopping this. And they're like, oh, I can breathe again.
Let's try. Well, I don't want to stop that.
Well,
but you say,
I'm not a man, so
they look for they look for a daily.
well, some and
Because you get
there are-
desensitized to it. Just
No, or some people are like, they don't want to have to think about, doing it at the time, or
Yeah.
there are also like some men's health specialists who prescribe it for other reasons. But it's one of the very common side effects. Of those types
file
of
that under
medications.
things I never would have considered that
No.
because have you seen it all, Dr. Swerdlin? How long have you been doing ear, nose, throat stuff?
27 years when I started in Kenosha. So
All right,
27.
27 years. Dr. Plain, how long have you been doing it?
10 years.
10. You don't look like you should have been doing it for 10. You're
No.
very.
Doogie Howser, right?
Yeah.
Were you? Oh, you said you went all the way through it. All right. So you're like 20. What when you started 20? Well, now we're doing age.
When
but
I
that's-
started out in practice, like done with all my training, I was 29.
See, I would have walked in and be like, I need an older doctor because
I get that all the time.
Yeah, you look very. Anyway, have you, Dr. Swerdlin, 27 years? Have you seen it all? Are there still things that are like,
I think I've seen a lot.
Yeah.
But I still get surprised, and I still get patients that I haven't seen their condition.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know boner nose was a thing. So
I did.
Have you? Okay.
I like that term for
That
it.
seems like personal.
We're gonna
Well, I
use
mean,
that
because I
now.
can't say what did you call it?
Erectile tissue.
It's erectile tissue. It's tissue
I
that
get
can
that. So what is
swell
the
or
diagnosis?
shrink
If I'm
in response to
sneezing,
different things.
if I'm sneezing because of that, I have erectile tissue disorder,
You're just things in your nose are being activated.
boner nose.
Well, that's
I
you
like
know how
it.
Yeah.
you know how they say if you sneeze, like it's
Feel like an orgasm.
Yeah. If you
Is
sneeze
that
10 times,
Is that why that? Because I love sneezing. Do
I
you love
too.
sneezing?
I love sneezing.
I love sneezing.
Most
Do you
of
love
the time.
It's a little face gasm.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Dr.
Is
Swerdlin,
it-
do you like sneezing?
I do.
Is
Yeah.
it the erectile tissue
Is it
that
because
makes
of the
it?
erectile tissue?
No,
We
it's
might be on it.
but it's the nerves that are being sensitized, and the nerves are what cause the swelling. So it's
Yeah.
all the
So
same
I
kind of
can't
thing.
O from my nose, is what you're telling me. Damn it.
This took a turn. But so do you think you've seen everything? Or I mean, because
I've seen a lot, but
Yeah.
I too am still surprised.
Yeah. Is it because you guys do all that studying too, and you'll read a journal and be like, well, I've never seen that. So you're hoping somebody brings it in. You're like, hey, I got one, right?
Mhm.
There's so much to it. Anyway, you got questions, text them in. So that person, there is something to that, maybe.
Yes,
All right. Do they need to see somebody to get rid of it, or it doesn't sound like it's a bad
not
thing?
necessarily.
Yeah, I get little face gasms, and then I get the other things.
So whenever he thinks about that, he should have a tissue. That's it.
I was just
All
going
right.
to say, don't sneeze on my face. That's
Yes.
really going to kill the mood.
His,
Right,
his
yeah.
partner probably, it's a good warning sign,
Yeah.
to either stay away or go
or
closer.
come near me. It depends on
Exactly.
when this person's in the mood. Start sneezing, they're in the. Apparently, Leah's Jeep puts me in the mood.
Do you
'Cause
sneeze?
I got last week. I got in the Jeep and I sneezed like 30 times.
Oh.
I think it was just nerves because she runs out of gas and then she's like, "No, we can go another 10 miles." I'm like, "The light's been on for 3 days."
That's not true.
Nerves is all that is. You got questions? We got doctors. Text them in now. Last call. Sinus and Snoring MD.com if you want to know more. But text your question now to 815-283-0095. Make studio the first word of your message. And by the way, I want to trademark boner nose. I'm going to be published in a medical
Put
journal.
it on a t-shirt.
Who would have thought? There you go. Here's motionless in white. Both. That's the time I told a doctor about the only rule we have on the show. If you know, you know, right? It's an amusing story.
It is. Good story.
This is where I work. And I said to her, is it okay that I've told you this story? And she goes, I'm a medical professional. Yeah. I've seen it. I've heard it. It's no big deal by me. So go home and tell everybody that story. We have professionals here, not broadcast professionals, but medical professionals. If you have a question, last call for those for Dr. Plain and Dr. Swerdlin from sinusandsnoringmd.com. We're also up and running on TomTube. If you have other questions, and obviously you can't do medical on the radio. If you're having actual issues, like sleep apnea can be dangerous. That killed Reggie White, right? He died from sleep. I know, and I've heard of other people who've died because of sleep apnea.
Yes.
Obviously, that's an extreme,
Or they die of the complications of sleep apnea, not realizing it's a complication of sleep apnea. So heart attacks are related
strain
to
on your heart.
Sudden cardiac death, like, your heart just stops. That's an arrhythmia, a heart rhythm problem, which you're more susceptible to if you have sleep apnea.
Yeah. So it's when they say it's like mitigating, or it's
it's like high blood pressure. They call it, quote unquote, like the silent killer. Right, because you don't necessarily feel that happening to you until something
happens. Same with the breathing. So if you have any actual medical questions or things like that, the best thing to do is to go see these guys. sinusandsnoringmd.com is where you can start, but we'll go to the text line one time for questions or whatever. The only people I can't add, like, you guys can kind of say and give a little advice, but you really should see somebody, which is important. You know, don't get diagnosed over the radio and go, oh, I'm fine. The only other people that it's really important to say, I can never get a hypnotist to come on the air because they're afraid they'll hypnotize people on the air. But there are people who try and get their snoring fixed with stuff like that, who have like mental or holistic or whatever. But you should really get your nose scoped, right? See what's going on.
Yeah. You should rule out any medical issues.
And it's not a painful procedure. We've done that too. It's a tiny little spaghetti camera. You don't even know the camera.
Like the camera thing is awesome.
It's a little tickle.
To me, that's worth going. You see it and you're like, oh no.
And then they do it.
And then they do it and you're like, that is the coolest thing ever.
It's
and you really
the real life magic school bus.
Yeah, it
is.
But my nose is a nightmare. Dr. Swerdlin will say I have a nice nose. I mean, it is a nightmare. As a doctor, you'd be like, oh, this man's got a screwed up face.
Is it because it's hairy or
no? Well, there's
dirty?
the hair. There's the hole in it.
Yeah.
There's a small colony living down there.
Oh,
I don't know. There's
man.
a lot going on in my nose. You got questions? Last call. Text them in now. We'll get them answered coming up next. 9:46.
Did we ask them the important question yet?
Who invented liquid soap and why? No, what is? I don't know. What is the important?
Why can't you smell your boogers?
Okay, we'll find out that. I'm trying to be all professional over here. Hey, text in your questions for the doctors. I'm trying to get us moving away from boner nose, and then you bring us back over here to junior high.
Because that's been something that's been asked before.
Know. Coming up, we're going to ask you why you have a couple of minutes to think of an answer. Why can't you smell your boogers?
In your nose.
Was Die Hard a Christmas movie? And is a hot dog a sandwich? We'll answer the three important questions of all mankind.
And is cereal a soup?
And these are doctors, what they say coming up. Is cereal a soup? No.
Okay.
Anything suspended in fluid doesn't make it a soup. Is the toilet a swine? I guess. I don't know. With Illinois people and S's. Anyway, it's liquor. It's not liquors. The S is silent, like on Illinois. The S is silent.
Okay.
It's not fine wine and liquors.
Is it not Jules either?
Or Aldi's or Soldiers Field. What is it with Illinois people in the S? Anyway, we have actual intelligent people here today. Dr. Swerdlin and Dr. Plain are here. Ask a ear, nose, throat doctor. Do you want to do actual questions from the text line first and then the dumb questions, or do you want to do the dumb questions? Let's do the actual questions first.
Sounds good.
And then we'll do the dumb questions. This is interesting because it hurts when I do it. How bad is it to pluck your nose hairs Can you do severe damage in the long run? I do it absent-mindedly. Is that a thing? Can you pluck your nose hairs? This is a weird
People do.
Yeah. It hurts like a mother.
Yes. I also don't recommend it.
Okay.
Because your nose is full of bacteria. And I have seen very, very many bad infections from infected follicles from
people plucking their nose hairs.
Trimming is fine.
Oh, yeah.
Or a scissor or those sorts of things, but I would steer clear of plucking.
All right. Don't pluck your nose. Well, it makes me cry when I do it. If you get one.
I can't even imagine.
Oh, it's the most
pain. Have you ever gotten a
torture.
booger stuck to a nose hair and then had to
Thanks, Lee. It's good to have your mic back on. This person wants to know if it's genetic based on their, I'm trying to summarize their question. It's very long. Based on their ethnicity, that they're Irish, and they want to know if they get more ear, nose, throat problems and things like. Is there a genetic thing to it? Are the Irish more susceptible, or the Swedes, or the Germans, or anything?
It's genetic, but it has nothing to do with race or ethnicity. So, for example, if your parents have allergies, you have a very high likelihood of having allergies. But I don't think it's ethnicity related.
You'll see it more in one subgroup than you do in another. Yeah. It's just all right. It is genetic, but I'm not worried. I don't know what this person would do. It'd be like, I'm not Irish anymore. I'm German now. Oh, I feel better. All right, the dumb questions, because we're wrapping things. Thank you guys for coming in today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
thank you.
If you have serious, actual things going on, or not even serious, go see Dr. Swerdlin, Dr. Plain, sinusandSnoringMD.com. Most insurance is accepted. You don't need a referral. It's easy to go in and see them, and you'll sleep better and you'll feel better.
It doesn't have to be a scary thing, like Dr. Swerdlin mentioned. It's not, there's non-invasive things that they can do
to fix things. Yeah. So sinusandSnoringMD.com, the dumb questions. Leah wants to know, this is a real question for you. You've brought this up before.
It wasn't me that brought it up, but it was in conversation and we all discussed it. And it's like, yeah, why can't you? Because I think if you take them out of your nose and smell them.
Oh my God. You guys okay with being part of actual stupidity on the radio?
Look at Dr. Swerdlin staring at me.
Do we have a choice?
Why am I here with her now?
Why can you not? Is there a fancy word for boogers? Can we go with that since you're medical?
They're crusting,
phlegm,
dried up mucus,
dried mucus, golden nodules, or green, or
whatever color they are.
Or if you ask my 6-year-old, the tastiest snack
on the planet. So good.
Yeah.
Man. So is there a reason? Is there a reason we can't smell them? Do they not have an odor, or are we just used to it?
I think they don't have an odor. Usually, if like your mucus or boogers have an odor, that can be a sign of infection.
Okay.
So people will actually say, "Oh, I have a foul smell in my nose." So as far as I know, it doesn't usually have a smell.
Wow. Thank you for giving an honest and serious answer to that asinine question.
I'm sorry. I'll stop.
No, you're fine. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Because you're medical doctors. We're just idiots on the radio. If you have an opinion on it, it would matter a little more. A lot more. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Have you seen Die Hard?
I have.
Leah hadn't seen it until this year.
I've seen it once.
All the way through?
My family made me watch it on Christmas.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
And they watch it on Christmas. So
it
your
was
family.
Christmas movie.
They said it was a Christmas movie. I'm Jewish, so I take their word for it.
Is there a menorah in it? No. So are there any Hanukkah movies that are people are like, is it Lethal Weapon or anything? What?
The one that you didn't watch.
I ate
the
Crazy
Adam
Nights.
Sandler movie.
But that is intentionally a Hanukkah movie. I'm talking about like Die Hard isn't intentionally a Christmas movie. Whatever. No, nothing that comes to mind. Nope. All right, Dr. Swerdlin, is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
I've never watched that movie.
Oh,
I know. I'm gonna.
It's good. You should.
It's so good. You can watch it any day of the year, which makes it not a Christmas movie.
It's really good.
It's so good.
All right. Are you going to watch it now? Based on
I will watch it. I'll report to you.
Thank you. Please. I expect a text within 7 to 10 days. Working days. Okay. All right. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
No.
Why not? It's 2 pieces of bread with meat in the middle.
Bread is connected.
Because the bread is connected, which to me makes sense. So a pita is not a sandwich. That's that's just a fold. A taco is not a sandwich.
A sub isn't a sandwich.
A taco's a taco.
Well, it depends on the sub. Some of them, the bread is connected. Some isn't.
Some of them, they're not.
A hoagie is a hoagie. It's getting sticky now.
A hoagie's a hoagie because the hoagie is connected.
Really?
Right?
Yeah. I don't know. Is a hoagie?
I think the hoagie is connected.
Dr.
If you
Swerdlin.
disconnect the bread from the hot dog, does it become a sandwich?
It can be.
When I make a hot dog, sometimes the bread breaks apart,
and then it's a sandwich.
and then it's a sandwich. Sure as hell harder to eat.
Doctor telling
We
you that.
solved all the problems.
Yeah.
We're not asking the cereal one. That is just idiotic. So thank you guys for coming in
Thank
today.
you guys
Thanks
so
for
much.
having us.
We know I'm not
solved-
as dumb as I seem on the surface.
We solved 3 of the world's
We
problems
did.
today. Good job, Leah. You're the catalyst to learning. Sinus and snoringmd.com. We kid with these guys because they're fun, but if you actually have something going on, talk to them and improve your quality of life. Get a better night's rest and breathe better and don't get sleep apnea and all that stuff. So sinus and snoringmd.com. Thank you guys for coming in.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It is 9:56.
I do believe the dense fog advisory is gone.
What?
It was only until
Where
10.
am I going?
Home, dense
What?
fog. It's
I
time
don't
for
know
you to
where
leave.
that is. God, he's so
That
dense.
way.
I'll get him home. Don't worry about it.
Jesus. Rain and snow today, high near 40.
All right. Today's notes from the show. I think we had a really good day because we coined a phrase that may end up in a medical journal.
Yeah.
If you guys, I want to be in a footnote, okay? Boner nose,
Boner nose.
which is an actual medical condition that we named today. Punxsutawney Tom, Fart Man, and the
Dun, 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 dun.
widest vagina. Boy, if I listen to the name,
Wide set.
I'm sorry, wide set
Get
vagina.
it right.
It's not a world record for widest.
Wide
This
set.
is what we had on the program today is these 4 items.
Oh, man.
Every
and
day
2 doctors.
And medical doctors joined us. What's going on in the world? If you have boner nose, for more than 4 hours, please. I don't know. Do you see a urologist or do you see an ENT? I don't know. All right. There you go. 95 WIIL ROCK, the rock station. boner nose.
Boner nose. You got a boner nose.
I was gonna say earlier. I said there was your daily rewind bit. Was what did I say it was? Wide set vagina.
Yeah.
Fart man. Punxsutawney Tom. I said it was one of them. But I think boner nose trumps them all.
Boner nose.
We coined a medical condition today.
Boner nose it is.
We're very fancy. It is 10:01.
Rain and snow today with a high of 40.
One last question for Dr. Swerdlin. They answered before they left. Dr. Plain and Dr. Swerdlin, thank you for being on with us today. What's the best way to get rid of the forest in my ears without doing damage? Can I use Q-tips? Why do they make Q-tips if you can't put them in your ears? They actually say on the box, they
Not
said,
for your
don't
ears,
put them in
yeah.
your ears. But everybody does.
Oh, it feels so good.
Yeah.
I lick mine before I put it in.
We're done talking to you. I guess that's better than licking it after.
Yeah.
Like, congratulations
salty.
that you do it in the right order.
But what they said,
Yola does it too.
she licks hers too.
Constantly.
Oh yeah, it feels so good. But she said that you shouldn't have to clean
Just
your
let
ears
the
out.
stuff
Yeah.
be in there. If it's a problem,
Unless
go
it
see
causes a
them and
problem.
they'll take care of it. Right.
If your
Don't
ear
jam
holes
stuff
are
in your
big
ear.
enough,
Yeah.
it should just fall out.
Yeah. And then you catch them in a little cup and you eat them if you're Leah. Oh, that's even better than licking them when I get a chunk.
Throw them through the air fryer.
Tune in tomorrow. See what else we do to make you want to vomit. Excellence in broadcasting continues. The delightful Jen Marr coming in next. You have a good day. Be nice to each other. 95 WIIL Rock, the rock station.